Let's say you have an Airtable base that looks just like this or slightly better. It's meant to capture leads from an external source like your WordPress website, which contains this form in which you're going to use to send that data to the Airtable base. Well, I'm going to show you how you can connect your WordPress form to Airtable. Could be JetFormBuilder, Elementor Forms. As long as the form you're using supports the core webhook URL submit action, you're good to go. What we want to achieve is make sure that this form is connected to Airtable, so whatever data is sent from here automatically updates as a rule here. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start with the plugins. Like I mentioned earlier, you basically need a form builder and a page builder. For this tutorial, I choose to use JetFormBuilder because this is a free plugin that allows you to call a webhook URL as a submit action for free. And I choose to use Elementor here. You can choose to use Elementor Forms or whatever form builder that allows that feature for free, or maybe not. Okay, so first, you need to make sure these plugins I mentioned are installed and activated. Then next, you need to make sure you have an automation tool. We have various tools out there. We have make.com, Zapier, IFTTT, and a lot of other tools. But I'm sticking with make.com because this has a free plan that can allow you to create a webhook trigger for free. And I guess that is what many of you are here for, a free way to get this done, right? Okay, so make.com is what I'm going to be using. And lastly, you need to make sure you're logged into your Airtable accounts so we can have a successful connection between Make and Airtable. Okay, so let's start with the automation tool. Come here to make.com. I'm going to paste the link in the description. To get started with make.com, you can create an account or log in if you have an existing account. Well, I do, so I'm going to log in. And once you're logged in, or once you have an account created, you should have a dashboard that looks very similar to what you see here. Okay, so the next step you need to do is come over to the left side and click on scenarios. Create a new scenario. You can find the button right here. Hit create scenario. The next thing you need to do is click on this plus icon here. Then you should have this model pop up with different trigger actions. And as you can see here, we have the webhook trigger action, but in case you don't find it here, you can simply search for it here. You can write something like webhook and you should find the option here. So you have three options under the webhook option. Well, we want to go with the custom webhook because this triggers when webhook receive data. So we have to click on this and we have to create a webhook. We can give our webhook a name, could be anything. I'm just going to call this data from JetFormBuilder. You can leave the rest as it is and save. Once you save, then you should have this URL, which is your webhook URL. You need to copy this webhook URL to your clipboard. And next, you need to head back to your WordPress dashboard. And here you find JetFormBuilder, which is the form builder I choose to use. You can add a new form, but I have one created, so I'm just going to edit that one. Click on forms, and I have this form called lead capture form. I'm going to edit this form. This form contains about 5 fields: first name, last name, email address, phone number, and message and inquiry. If we go back to our Airtable base, you can see here we have similar data like the first name, last name, email address, phone number, and message. So that is basically all the fields we need to have in our forms, right? So we have that created. The next thing we need to do is add a post submit action. By default, you should find this option already selected. That is to save the form record in your database. But you also need to add a new action. So you come here, click on new action, and you should find the core webhook submit action here. You click on this, and you have to paste the webhook URL that you copied from make.com. Go ahead and paste. Then update. Then last thing you need to do is to save this form. Okay, so our form is saved already. Then you can choose to add this form to any page of your choice. It can be in the contact page or whatever page, but for this tutorial I'm just going to paste it in the home page. Well, I'm going to refresh this and show you how it was done. Edit with Elementor, and here in Elementor you can simply come here to search your widgets and search for forms, and you should find JetForm or your Elementor form. So you can simply drag in a form and then select the form you created. If you're using Elementor form, you can also come here, search for form, drag this form here, and once you have your field set up, you need to come down here to where you have actions after submit. Click on this, and when you add an action, you should find the option to add a webhook. Then come here and insert your webhook URL here. Okay, so you can do this with Elementor Forms as well, but I'm choosing to use JetFormBuilder. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I publish this page, then go to the published page so we can test. Okay, so I'm gonna put in a random value, John Doe, just a dummy data, and I'm gonna put something like please subscribe. Okay, I'm gonna submit this form. It says form successfully submitted. All right, that's great. Then we head back to make.com, and you can see here we have something called successfully determined. Then we save. Now the next thing we need to do is click on this plus icon here and add a new module, and in this case we want to add the Airtable module. So we search for Airtable, click on Airtable here. What you want to select here is create a record. Click on this, and now we need to make sure we create a kind of authentication between make.com and our Airtable account. So I already have one created here, but I'm going to show you all over again how it was created. Okay, so what you want to do here is add a connection, add, and it's going to ask you of the connection type. Here you want to make sure you click on Airtable or authentication and not the Airtable token or key. This option is already deprecated by Airtable, so you want to make sure you click on this option instead. Click on this and give your connection a name. I'm just gonna say my new Airtable connection. Okay, all right, so you save this and it's gonna open the model pop-up to connect to your Airtable account. Okay, so once this is open, you can see it says Make is requesting Airtable access. And what you want to do here is grant access to either all your resources or just a base. So you can choose to add all your Airtable resources. That is totally up to you. Or you can just choose to add a single base. And I have one base created, which is called lead pipeline. So in my case, I don't want to add all the resources under my Airtable account. Instead, I want to add this base alone, and I'm going to grant access to that base alone. I'm going to click on this, and the connection is verified. And here I need to add the base, which is called the lead pipeline. Click, and here I need to select the table. Well, let me come back to my Airtable base. You can see we have different tables right here. Not very clear because of the theme style, but we have different tables. You have the leads, nodes, task, and campaign. What I care about is the leads table, because here we have the leads detail, the leads name, email, and the rest. So I'm going to select the leads table back in make.com. So click on this, select leads. And then the next thing I want to do is insert the variables. Click on this, and I'm going to drag in the variables. The lead name should be the first name and last name, right? So I'm going to drag in first name here. Make sure you insert a space and the last name. Okay, then here I want to insert the email address, drag it in here, and the phone number, drag in phone. And lastly, the message. I'm gonna drag this in. Okay, the lead status source assigned to this is meant for the marketing team, so I'm not gonna do anything here. Okay, I'm gonna hit save and also make sure I save this entire scenario. Save. Now I want to make sure I come down here to where we have this option to run this scenario immediately as data arrives. What this means is if someone come here to our website, submits this form, that is when it should run this scenario. That is immediately the data arrives to that webhook URL. Okay, so we have to toggle this on and yeah, run scenario immediately and save. Okay, now we also need to make sure we save again here. All right, so now we need to test if this works fine. Here is our Airtable base. So want to make sure when we submit a form here, just going to submit some sample data. John Doe, email address, this, phone number, this, and message, please subscribe. Okay, so when I submit this, we can confirm that the form was successfully submitted. Okay, so let's head over to our Airtable base and refresh the page. And now we can see that it works fine. Our data is being sent here. So imagine what you can do with this. You can build like a really complex base with Airtable and run some automation inside of Airtable and use your form to send data right here, so your marketing team can find it very easy to create automations and convert leads. Okay, so now you've seen how simple it is to turn a basic WordPress form like this into a powerful lead collection system using Airtable. Okay, so if you've learned something new today, please make sure you hit the like button. It really supports the channel. Also make sure you drop a comment below if you want me to cover more WordPress automations like this. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next tutorial. Alright, see you in the next one.